I'm Ty Knight for TK24 Sports. Now, today's Premier League review show, we're going to be taking a look at the games that we covered on Game Day Hype Day on Friday, which is, of course, Arsenal's victory over Burnley, Manchester United's victory over West Ham, and, of course, Chelsea whooping the floor over Tottenham Hotspur. So all that and more is coming up in this show. So if you're new to the show, make sure you watch the entire show. Do not skip end before this show is finished. That way you get the best out of this show, of all the stats, league tables, and everything else we bring you for shows like this. So let's kick off the show with Arsenal's victory over Burnley. So as we know, Arsenal travelled up to Turf Moor and they was looking for another victory. Bearing in mind, this is now their second victory in the Premier League, which now gives them 6 points and moves them much higher up the table. Now, what was this victory about? Now, it was a game of just guts and no real great football played. Arsenal should have scored more than one goal. Now, they was going forward, no Granit Xhaka in the team, so they do look a bit better with that. But one thing I will say, Mikel Arteta actually, he got away with this one. Just playing Partey in the midfield by himself, and again, he does these things. I mean, yes, it was an all-out attack team he put out, and I was happy with it, but I was worried. I was thinking to myself, can Partey do this alone? And, well, they got away with it. It was a good goal. In the end, of course, we saw what happened with the goal with Oddegard, with the free kick, with Saka, who got the foul in the end, got the ball, drove. I thought he held on the ball a bit too long. He had Pepe on the right. He could have slid him in, but of course the foul came. Oddegard stepped up, left foot, whipped it around the wall. Wasn't top corner, but it was a good goal. But back to the victory. How did Arsenal win this one? They won it because Ramsdale was solid. Tini was okay, picked up another injury, no surprise there. But to me, the big thing about Arsenal now, when you look at that, Gabriel's back, and you can see the difference when this guy's back. Tomiyasu, the right back, I called him out last week and said how fantastic he was. He wins aerial duels, and that's because he is 6'2". He can play in central defence and he can play right back. He has got pace on him. He's composed. He plays the game simple. He's not trying to impress anyone. But the thing is, the things he does impress. And that's why he is going to be one of Arsenal's solid defenders going forward for years to come. I'm telling you now, for years to come, the age of the range that they've got in this back four is scary, along with Aaron Ramsdale. And those Arsenal fans who are calling out Ramsdale saying what a waste of money, this proves that Edu and Arteta have no clue what they're doing. It goes to show maybe they do know what they're doing, because when they can displace Leno, even though the guy doesn't want to sign a new contract, more than likely wants to leave, it goes to show that the decision-making bringing in Ramsdale was a good one. Now, if you're thinking I'm jumping on the Aaron Ramsdale tailcoat here, I am not. I've already done a video on Aaron Ramsdale when he came to Arsenal, and if you haven't seen that one, I'm going to put a link right here. So after this, you can go and watch it, or you go and look in the link in the description. I was raving about Aaron Ramsdale. I'm telling you now, I really was. I was never the one who said, what a waste of money for this guy. I was the one who was saying, this guy is class. But anyway, back to the game. Arteta got through this one. They go up against Spurs next Saturday. They're going to have to do more, and they're going to have to pray that Thomas Partey has not got a serious injury. Granit Xhaka is back from suspension, and no doubt this guy's going to come straight back into the team. I have no doubts about it. I would rather go and see Lokonga and Partey play together, but Arteta's not going to do that. He's going to go with Xhaka and Partey, without a doubt. If Partey's injured, then you'll be Xhaka and then Lokonga. But then again, it's Mikel Arteta who knows what this man's going to do. Sometimes I think he knows better than what he really does, and sometimes just playing it simple gets you effective results. Arsenal went up to Burnley, won 1-0. It's been a minute since they actually beat Burnley. If you remember from the previous show we done, they haven't beaten Burnley in the last 3 games. So the fact that they actually won this one, scored, got a clean sheet away from home in a tough game like Burnley, shows what could actually happen if you just keep things simple and keep Granit Xhaka out of the team. No shade on him. But back to Arsenal. Arsenal need to be more decisive. Their passing was poor when it came to the final third. It was very underweighted passes, and I think they need to actually put a bit more venom into passes and be more attack-minded. I mean, they really got to go for it. They've got to put the teams away. And if every attack, listen, it just has to happen. The pass has got to be faster. The movement's got to be crisper. The touch has to be better. They've got to be more imaginative. It's not like they don't have the players who can be imaginative. I just think the way that these players at the moment are going forward, that has to be looked at. They may have to look at dropping Saka. I'm deadly serious on this. Last couple of games, he hasn't proved anything yet to warrant starting. Forget the number on the back. I'm not all about numbers on the back. What my point is, Saka is a great player, but sometimes you need to keep him in and keep him out of the team. And that keeps him on his toes. Give Martinelli a chance against Spurs. I think Martinelli will be more up for it than Saka would. Saka's been found out a few times now, and it's quite easy to mark him out of the game. With Martinelli, you just don't know what this guy's going to do. He's a firecracker. You know, he's explosive inside. You just light him up. You light him up before even the game, and the guy has so much fizz, he will just go and go and go and go. And then you can bring on Saka to see if he can make a difference after that. That's what I would do. Maybe that little change just there in personnel, and maybe bring in Lacazette rather than Aubameyang. I think Lacazette will actually hold the ball up much better against the Spurs defence. That's what I will do to change it to get the next 3 points against Spurs next weekend. Now, what about Burnley? Burnley were okay on the day. They had a few chances, nothing major, nothing to really scare Arsenal. And that is just because Gabriel was solid. Ben White got beat in the air a few times, but that, we know Ben White's not going to be the best in the air, but he's great on the ball. He's very dynamic. He's got range in his play. But Burnley need to do a bit more to get some points now. They're in the relegation zone. Sean Dyche is going to have to do something, but every year he seems to do it. But maybe this year it's going to be the one that catches up on him. He may have to be more flexible with his 4-4-2 system because it's very easy and very rigid, and so teams can break him down when they need to. But anyway, that was Arsenal's victory versus Burnley. Now let's move on to the next game that we covered, which was, of course, Manchester United's victory over West Ham. Now, what about this game? CR7 scored. I said he was going to score. And I even told West Ham fans, you know this man likes to play against you, and he scored. But the one who came back to haunt them, worst player ever, would of course be Jesse Lingard, and he did. Now, it's a shame he didn't do the moonwalk or the crip walk on you guys at the London Stadium. But of course, that's how the victory came late on in this game. Mark Noble actually came on when West Ham got a penalty. Now, I don't know what David Moyes was thinking. Maybe he was thinking, do you know what? Let me just try a little thing here. We've got a penalty. I'm going to bring on Mark Noble. He hasn't missed in a minute. And you know what? That wasn't a bad shout. And I think Mark Noble thought, you know what? I fancy myself on this. Bring me on, Gaff. I'll stick this one in the back of the net. And it takes courage to take a penalty, even at the dying seconds of that. Bear in mind, both teams were actually unbeaten going into this game. Now, with United, we're sitting at the top of the table going into this one. They're still top of the table now again in the league. United are on fire. I said they're going to be one of the teams to beat, along with Chelsea, Liverpool, and maybe City. But back to this game. With the game kicking off, of course, Ronaldo scored and Fabianski, ball came in. Ronaldo had a shot. I don't know how powerful it really was. It was because we didn't get to see the miles per hour. But one thing I can say, I've seen this from Fabianski. I'm an Arsenal fan, so of course when he was at Arsenal, that's how he got his name. Now his name is Fabianski, so I'm not going to take too much shade at the guy because he didn't make a good save against Ronaldo in the second half. But the way the goal came, ball came in, Ronaldo had a shot. It wasn't the most powerful shot. Fabianski got the ball, once it hit his chest, came out, spilled. Ronaldo's there to clean up. 1-0. Then of course, West Ham scored. Then United scored again with Jesse Lingard. Now, to me, that is where the game changed. It changed because West Ham went 1-0 up, then 1-0, then 2-1 to United with Jesse Lingard. Then the penalty, then they missed and United won the game. Now, what do I think of United? I think on the day they were okay. They wasn't great. I think they got matched man for man in the game. And again, I thought a draw would have been a good result, but it just didn't happen that way, and that's just football. When you've been given a chance by the football gods, you're going to have to take it, and Mark Noble almost did, and it just didn't work out to be that way. But I will say this, and this one thing I will say, West Ham are going to be up there this season. They're going to fight. They're going to be hard to beat. They're going to be hard to break down, but they do need another striker. Yes, they brought another guy in, but he doesn't really look to me to be the guy that's going to fill in the boots for Mikel Antonio if he gets injured or suspended again. And I do believe if Mikel Antonio was playing this game, it could have been a different game altogether because West Ham would have had a bigger outlet, like what Chelsea do with Lukaku. I would have thought Antonio would have been that guy playing this game. So it's a shame that they lost him for this game, but it also goes to show that West Ham are no mugs. They will be up there this season. So well done to David Moyes and to the West Ham team. You've done yourselves proud. Unfortunately, you lost, But that's just what happens in football, right? It just happens. So, moving on to the last game of the weekend, which was, of course, Spurs taking on Chelsea. Chelsea whooping Spurs again for 30 plus wins again. Now, again, on game day hype show, we showed you that Chelsea just batter Spurs all the time. But one thing Nuno has done for Spurs, to me, is nothing special. First 3 games of the season, they won 1-0. Wasn't all convincing. And then you had the Arsenal fans had the cheek to turn around and say, look at Spurs, they've got identity. You know, Nuno's come in 6 weeks, you can see what Spurs are trying to do, you can see what Spurs are trying to play. They got identity, what's Arteta been doing? No, those same Arsenal fans on certain channels, what are they saying now about Spurs? Is this the identity of Spurs? What, losing? Getting battered? Chelsea handed them a new one. And what you're now starting to see from Thomas Tuchel is this. He doesn't break from his formation. 3-4-3. And it is just ferocious. These guys are fit. They just press you and press you and press you. It doesn't matter who is going to start the game, who he brings on. He can rest players and bring other players in for rotation, and they just know the system. They know what to play, how to play, and when to play. Their back 3 presses up. When Chelsea are attacking, the whole team presses up. They're then in your half. So if the ball breaks, guess who's going to be there? The Chelsea defenders. They win the ball back, they keep on playing. They win the ball back, they keep on playing. You need... Oh my God, it's just ferocious watching Chelsea play. They are a great team. Now, by no means by the imagination, the first half wasn't a great half in this game of football. I don't think it was. But the way the game went in the end, it's no surprise that Chelsea won. Spurs done okay. They had a couple of chances, but nothing special. Harry Kane, again, starved of service because Spurs do not have any creativity in this team whatsoever. They don't. They really don't. And that's one thing Spurs don't actually go out to do in the market. They got a couple of new defenders. They've done okay. It was okay, but you still got battered 3-0. And that's because your midfield is weak. The midfield is weak. The central midfield is weak. There's no creativity. It's weak. So I keep saying that word, weak and no creativity. That's what Spurs need to work on. Harry Kane needs to do something, but but the guy's a forward. So he can only rely on service. And if he's not getting service, then what do you expect? What do you expect this guy to do without service? Now, I thought to myself, well, Son's going to play, they're going to have a chance. I just thought Spurs would be up for it. I thought after the 3-0 whipping they got from Crystal Palace away from home the weekend before would have given them a cause to go forward. The result in the, oh my God, that Mickey Mouse European League that they're playing in is a joke. But then again, Arsenal not in there, so who am I the one to cuss them out? But they still drew that game. So it goes to show, after international breaks, can you pick yourself up and get yourself winning again? Last week they lost 3-0. Today they lost 3-0. Now what's going to happen against Arsenal at the Emirates next weekend? It could be 3-4 if Arsenal put themselves into gear. Spurs are going to need to do something good. Nuno needs to go and do something good because the way Chelsea played, it shows so many cracks in this Spurs team. But the way Chelsea play, it goes to show it's going to take I don't even know what team is going to beat Chelsea this season. I'm not saying they're going to go unbeaten, but it's going to be a team that needs to be tactically aware. Spurs will play, I don't even know, it'll come up. You'll see who they're going to play. Chelsea will take on Manchester City at Stamford Bridge. That's going to be a great game, and I think we're going to cover that game for Game Day Hype Day on Friday coming up. So as you know already, there's no Champions League game this week for Tuesday and Wednesday, so there's no shows on Tuesday and Wednesday. We may sneak a couple of shows in. So if you're new to the show, again, these are the list of plays that we do for TK24 Sports. So that'll be the reasons why you need to subscribe and like and turn that notification on so you don't miss shows like this. And it keeps you vitally important, vitally informed. We do good stuff here at TK24 Sports. But back to the game. How do you beat Chelsea? To me, you're going to have to go after them. You're going to have to be a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3. You're going to have to match them, but match them with intensity. Your 4-3-3, 4-4-2 formation, I can't really see that working. Your 4-2-3-1 may work, but you need players to be drilled. You need players to be disciplined. You can't play deeper and deeper because that's what Chelsea want you to do. Chelsea will suffocate you. They'll come onto you. On. The ball will go through the middle. The ball will go wide. The ball will go to Lukaku. The ball will go to Mason Mount, Kai Havertz. Look, I'm just naming ballers here. I'm naming guys who will just destroy you, and they do. And Chelsea look more formidable and more stronger than they did last year because now they've got Lukaku up front. They've got a guy who can hold the ball up, who can twist, who can turn. But Lukaku is very readable because the guy will just show you where he wants the ball. Now, when he's showing you and you're trying to hold him off, there's no point trying to hold him from the back. But the moment he does that and the player's looking at him, about to pass it to him, you need to get in front. You need to move him. He's a big guy, but you're going to have to tussle him and make it hard for him, frustrate him, aggravate him to get him out of the game. That's what you're going to have to do. So anyway, if you like the show today, make sure you like, subscribe, turn that notification on so you don't miss a show ever again. Thank you for watching. I'm Ty Knight for TK24 Sports, and we'll see you soon for Game Day Hype Day on Friday.